Superior capsular reconstruction can be used to treat irreparable rotator cuff tears. To begin, tenodesis the biceps tendon using the Tenolock dual expanding tenodesis anchor. Then, prepare the superior glenoid and greater tuberosity using a ConMed dual-purpose shaver blade. Stealth blades feature diamond-like carbon coating on the distal tip. Use a spinal needle to identify the desired glenoid anchor positioning. Insert the Why Not Flex drill guide and prepare a pilot hole for the 1.8 mm double-loaded anchor. Then, insert the Why Not Pro Flex all suture anchor. Remove the driver, which uncleats the sutures automatically. Set the anchor by pulling back on all the suture limbs and remove the guide. Next, insert and set a second double-loaded Why Not Pro Flex anchor. Why Not Pro anchors contract vertically and expand laterally to provide 360-degree form-fit fixation beneath the cortex. Remove the guide. Then, remove one suture from each anchor. Opposing suture colors can be removed to aid in suture management. Next, use an arthroscopic ruler to obtain graft measurements. First, measure the distance between the two glenoid anchors and then measure the length of the footprint on the greater tuberosity. Next, measure the distance between the anterior glenoid anchor and the anterior greater tuberosity footprint. Finally, measure the distance between the posterior glenoid anchor and the posterior greater tuberosity footprint. Transfer the measurements onto the Aloe Patch HD. Leave a 3 to 5 mm border on all sides of the graft and trim to size. Using ConMed's red 8 mm dry dock cannula, pull one limb of suture from each glenoid anchor through the lateral portal. Pass the suture limbs through the Aloe Patch HD. Tie 5 stick knots on each limb and trim the excess. Next, lightly fold the graft in half and use a grasper to assist with passage through the cannula. Pull on the free suture limbs to shuttle the graft onto the glenoid. Then retrieve both stick knots and the other suture limbs. Use a knot pusher to tie knots that secure the allograft to the glenoid. Then, use the katana suture cutter to cut the sutures. Next, insert a double-loaded Why Not Pro RC with hi-fi ribbon all suture anchor near the articular margin and remove the driver, which uncleats the sutures. Set the anchor by pulling back on all the suture limbs. Then, insert a second Why Not Pro RC all suture anchor and set the anchor. Use ConMed Spectrum Auto Pass to pass all 4 limbs of hi-fi ribbon through the Aloe Patch HD in a mattress stitch fashion. ConMed's hi-fi ribbon is a 1.3 mm wide flat tieable tape that provides broader compression. When passing is complete, tie knots medially. Next, insert the CrossFit knotless DT punch down to the depth mark. Then, load 2 hi-fi ribbon limbs from each medial anchor into the CrossFit knotless DT anchor using the nitinol threader tab. Apply the desired tension and cleat the sutures on the gray telescoping cleat. While holding the black handle stationary, use the blue handle to insert the anchor to the depth mark. Then, uncleat the sutures and remove the driver. Remove the sliding number 2 suture. Next, insert a second CrossFit knotless DT punch and anchor. The telescoping cleat feeds suture down the shaft of the driver as the anchor is inserted. This prevents the ribbon suture limbs from being over-tensioned. Remove the sliding number 2 suture. Finally, cut the suture tails to complete the repair. As an option, free suture can be passed through the surrounding cuff tissue and allograft to provide more coverage over the humeral head and link the allograft to the remnant cuff.